not least spacecraft potentially being printed from raw materials mined from asteroids. That would be really cool.
Yeah. It sounds like a great idea. The only thing that comes to mind is like the materials that we're using here on Earth kind of seem like plastic-like, where they're easy to melt. I can't imagine materials on an asteroid being plastic-like, like what would, like, I imagine it as a bunch of rocks. So what would keep the mass together, like it feels like it would just start to crumble or evaporate or scatter in space.
I mean, pretty much anything that you can melt, you can 3D print with. So you can melt sand into glass, you can melt rock into molten rock and then re-solidify it. And you can also melt metals. And a lot of asteroids are actually, some of them are primarily composed of metals. There's a mission to an asteroid called 16 Psyche that's underway at the moment. And that asteroid is thought to be, in some circles, I think there's some debate over it, but it's thought to be potentially the core of a failed planet, a planet that was accreting in the early solar system, just like all of the rest of the planets, and our own Earth was accreting from the material that was swirling around the sun. And it got to the stage where the gravitational forces were compressing it enough that it went molten. The heavy stuff fell to the center, and then just by chance it happened to smash into one of the other planetesimals that were accreting, and all of the crust and outer core got blown off, and all that's left is this big, I think it's like 200 kilometers across, hunk of solid metal, because it re-solidified at that point. And so there's a mission heading out there, and that would be really interesting to see what it finds, because so far this thing is just a dot of light in the telescopes, and we've done spectrography, sorry, where you split up the light and understand what chemical elements are in it, and it's just like all metals. So that's an extreme example, but there are a lot of asteroids out there that have high metal content in them. And it's an interesting kind of distinction to have to make, because for an astronomer, a metal is anything that isn't hydrogen or helium. Like literally everything, like your skin is a metal according to an astronomer. Okay. But that's just, I'm not even sure why they talk in those terms, but I'm talking like in the everyday terms, that these asteroids are made of metals like iron and nickel and I don't know, cobalt, cadmium, all that kind of stuff. Part of the reason that rare materials on Earth are rare is because of that gravitational sorting when the Earth was molten, that the heavy stuff literally just sunk down into lower layers, and so it's very difficult to access for us.
So it's actually not rare, it's just like far away.
Exactly, yeah. There's layers below. Exactly, there are layers of gold in deep, inaccessible layers of the Earth, far deeper than we could ever drill to. And they might as well not be there as far as our economics are concerned. But out in space, where when everything was swirling around the sun and coalescing into the various planets that we have now, it was a violent situation. So there are lots of asteroids out there that are fairly evenly mixed in terms of the elemental composition, and you don't need to dig far to find valuable stuff. I think someone said 16 Psyche, if you were to lock the value of gold, that 16 Psyche likely has enough gold to give every person on Earth $350 million worth of gold.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.